Hi friends, this is Miss Hooper. Today I'm going to read you Curious George and the Pizza Party. This book is about Curious George. Curious George is a monkey and he is very curious. Curious means that you really want to learn something new. And so George loves to learn new things. Sometimes that gets him in trouble though. So we're going to read to find out what happens to him at the pizza party that he goes to. This is the title page. It's the same as the front cover. It has the title on it and the author. So it says Curious George and the Pizza Party. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, he wasn't just curious, he was excited. So excited, in fact, that he was turning flips and standing on his head. Silly George. A little girl in George's building had invited him to her pizza party. George had never been to a pizza party before, but he loved parties and he loved pizza, so he knew it had to be good. "George, it's time for the pizza party," said the man with the yellow hat. "Have fun and remember to be on your best behavior." George got to the party in perfect time. "Hi, George," called out the little girl. But oh, what was all of this? The children were wearing puffy white chef's hats and checkered aprons. George got a hat and an apron too. The best was yet to come. They weren't just going to eat pizza, they were going to make it too. "Everyone will get a piece of pizza dough to roll out and make a special pizza," explained the girl's mother. There were many little lumps of dough. "But first, let's play some games," she said. He gathered the lumps of dough together and squished and squashed them until they became the very biggest piece of dough he'd ever seen. What fun! Maybe rolling it out would be even more fun. Everyone went into the living room to play Pin the Pepperoni on the pizza. Everyone, that is, except George. He was curious about those pieces of dough. George thought and thought. If lots of little pieces of dough were good, maybe one huge one would be even better. I think George might get in trouble. Let's see. George poured flour out on the table and he rolled and rolled and rolled the dough with a rolling pin. It was messy work. First, he bumped over one of the chairs. Crash! Then he knocked over the sack of flour. Thump! The flour looked like snow lying on the floor of the kitchen. George likes snow, though, so he didn't mind at all. Soon he had gotten the dough nice and thin. But the thinner it got, the farther it spread out. Before he knew it, the dough covered the table, then the chairs, and then George. Without the flour, it started to stick to everything, including George. George stopped to think. Maybe the dough was better off in small pieces after all. George got a pair of scissors and began cutting up the dough into lots of different shapes. He thought everyone would be pleased. "George, what have you done to the kitchen?" The little girl's mother didn't look very happy. "I think it's time for you to go home now." How surprised and sad George was. Just then, the children burst into the kitchen and saw the mess that George had made. "George, what happened?" asked one boy. The other children looked at the shapes George had made with wide eyes. "Wow, George, I've never seen pizza dough like that before," said the little girl, smiling. "Well," said her mother, "if you can clean up this mess quickly, George, I suppose you can still stay to make pizza." The children all helped George clean the kitchen. He was lucky to have so many good friends. As they worked, they talked about the pizza. "I'm going to make a pizza that looks like a star," said one little boy. "And I'm going to make one that looks like a house," said a girl. Once the kitchen was clean, the real fun began. All of the children picked out perfect pieces of dough and got to work. They spooned on tomato sauce and sprinkled on cheese. They added lots of vegetables and pepperoni. The pizzas looked wonderful. One looked like a rainbow, another like a stop sign, and still another like a balloon. There was even a pizza that looked curiously like George. "Well, George," said the little girl's mother, "the pizza tastes great, and thanks to you, they look wonderful too." Everyone agreed it was the best pizza anyone had ever seen or tasted. For the second time that day, George was so happy that he turned flips and stood on his head. Of course, it was a little harder to turn flips with so much pizza in his belly, but George didn't mind. It had been a wonderful pizza party. Okay, so these are steps that happened in the story. So I want to see if you guys are paying attention and can help me put these in order. So I'm going to give you a few seconds, and I want you to try to put the steps that George made his pizza in order from the book, and I'll give you the answers next. Here are the answers. Were you right? First, he got the flour out and made the dough. Second, he rolled out the dough. Third, he flipped the pizza up in the air to get the dough just right. And then fourth, he made his pizza. So if you guys want to make your own pizza, here is a recipe that was included in the book. And of course, have your parent help you. But here is the recipe if you guys would like to do that. And then I'm going to ask you guys some questions to make sure you are paying attention during this story. So I'm going to ask a question, I'm going to pause and give you a chance to answer out loud, and then I'll tell you what the answer was. So why was George excited at the beginning of the story? Why was he excited? He was excited because a little girl invited him to her pizza party. Did you get it right? Great job. Why did George stay back while the other kids played games? He wanted to make a giant pizza. He was curious about if he could make a giant pizza. What was George's problem in the story? He made a huge mess in the kitchen, and the huge pizza dough didn't work out very well. And then the mom got mad at him because he had made a huge mess. And then how did George solve his problem in the story? He made the dough into tiny shapes, and they made pizza that was shaped into different shapes. And that's how he fixed his problem. And they cleaned up the kitchen too, and his friends helped. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed Curious George and the Pizza Party, and have fun reading.